Hi everyone, I just wanted to show you how I get started with my cardigans that I've been making. So the yarn I'm using is this pink one, and I'm hoping you'll be able to see against this background. I've got a towel down here, different colour. So I'm using this yarn from Hobie I got from Denmark a while ago. So I'm shopping in my stash, so it's called Tivoli. So I hope I have enough to finish a cardigan. So the needles I'm using, it says 5mm or a US 8 or a UK 6. But if you're following a pattern, just use whatever the pattern says. If you're tight or loose, then you need to go up or down a needle size or a hook size. So I like to do my ribbing in a 4mm, and I do my main knitting in a 5mm. I wanted to have a go with 5.5, but I don't have 5.5. So we'll have a go with that. And I have a few stitch markers because I lose count casting on, especially for the back, that every 20 stitches I'll try and put a stitch marker when I'm counting, especially if you're doing a large size cardigan and you're doing over 100 stitches. It sort of gets hard to count sometimes. So this is just how I get started. So I'm going to show you how I do my casting on. So I've got a separate tutorial for how to do a slip knot, and this is how I get started. Over my fingers, I wrap it round my finger twice. I hold it with my other finger here. I pick up my back loop and I bring it forwards. I pick up my new back loop and I bring it forwards over my finger, let it go, and there's my slip knot. And that's just the easiest way, but I do have a separate tutorial for that if you need to watch it again. And you can just stop this video at any stage and just re-watch things. So I just hold on to that knot there just to keep it, make it behave itself so it doesn't slide around everywhere. So when I cast on, this is the old, what we call the old-fashioned way. I don't do continental. This is an old-fashioned way that I'm showing you. You might like to find something else on YouTube that suits you better, but I'm just showing you what I do. And I don't know why, but I was taught to put my yarn around my little finger and around my middle finger and then just hold it gently with my fingers here. Gives you a little bit of tension, but not too much. And that's just how I do it. So you'll find a different way to hold your yarn. You'll practice. So what casting on, I put my needle up behind that one. I go around with my yarn. I pull my needle out in between that stitch there and I just stretch it a little bit. And I bring my left needle and I put it in this loop here. I take my right needle out and there is my next stitch, and I just make sure that slip knot is tight because that comes undone until you get started. So I'll show you that again. Put my needle up to come out the back. Put my yarn around the back needle. I pull my needle down and I come out between the two stitches. I stretch it a little bit so I can twist it around. Put my left needle in through that loop onto the left needle and I pull my right one out and I just give it a bit of a tug. Not too tight. You want it to slide up and down your needle, but when you're a beginner you can be very loose and everything can fall off. I'll show you that a few more times. My right needle goes in the loop to the back of the needle. I go yarn around. I pull my needle back so it comes out in between those loops. I just give it a little tug and put my left needle so the yarn's on the left needle and pull my needle out. And as I get faster, I don't always pull my needle right out, I just take it back and then poke it back up the back again. And it's sort of like knitting. If you were knitting, you'd pull that whole stitch off. But I'm pulling it out, putting my left one in through the loop, and I pull my needle out. And that's how I cast on. So I don't use a pattern. At the moment I'm doing oblong cardigans. As you know, I'm a beginner and I like to find an easy way to do things. So if you know how to read a pattern, then you can do your pattern. But I'm just making an oblong for my cardigan that I'm making with this yarn. So when I get all my stitches cast on, I'll come back and show you how to do ribbing. So just pause the video anytime you like and just take your time. It is not a race. So that's just how I'm casting on. So I'll be back later.